Hey guys, and welcome back to another HIIT yoga. For today's session, you're not going to need anything at all, just some space on the floor, a mat if you have one, and whenever you're ready, come and join me in Tadasana and we'll begin with a warm-up. So it's your same format as always. We're doing your 3 rounds of 5 movements, working for 45 seconds, resting for 25 while I demonstrate the next. In between each round, you'll get a minute's rest. Just take it at your own pace. Notice how your body feels today, so it might be different to last week. The movements are slightly different to last week. It should be a little bit harder on some of them, but the options to scale back are always there as well. So just take it at your pace and enjoy it. And we'll start with a warm-up. So if you just come to the front of your mat and find yourself in Tadasana. Feet are hip distance apart and just roll your shoulders back and down, maybe 5 times backwards, really hunching them up in towards your ears, getting that blood flow going, and then forwards. When you've done kind of a similar number of reps in each direction, we're just going to come back to center. Inhale as you lift your right arm up tall to the sky, and then exhale as you reach all the way over to the left. Inhale back to center, switching over the arms. Exhale, reach all the way over to the right. Inhale back to center, and we're just going to go from side to side 3 times on each side, finding that stretch, figuring out that mobility, and then come back to center. Arms go out wide in a T-shaped position, and we're going to wrap the arms around the body as we twist to look behind. Just let the arms fall wherever they need to go. Lift and lengthen as you come through that midline, and just let the arms fall around the body. 1 more each side. Come all the way back to center. Find yourself in that Tadasana position again. Inhale as you lift your hands up tall, extended Tadasana. Bend at the knees, hinge at the hips, and come all the way down into your Uttanasana forward fold. We're going to take that ragdoll variation, taking opposite hand to opposite elbow. Draw the chest over the thighs, crown of the head towards the floor. Swing from side to side. Work into those glutes, those hips, those hamstrings. Take 1 more deep breath all the way in. Exhale, and just let your hands come down to the floor. From here, we're going to inhale as we lift the heels off the floor, knees to chest, nose to knees, crouching up. Exhale as you press up into that forward fold. Inhale to crouch. Exhale to forward fold. 1 more, inhale to crouch. Exhale to forward fold. And then walk the feet all the way back to your down facing dog. Finding your upside down V shape, spreading the fingers, pressing through the hands, maybe just pulsing through the shoulders to begin with. And then when you're ready, gently pedaling out through the feet as well. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale, press the heels towards the floor. And then we're going to inhale as we roll forwards, finding our plank position, dropping the knees if you need to. Exhale, low plank or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, press up to cobra. And then exhale as you press back to down facing dog. Walk the hands all the way to the back of the mat. Find your Uttanasana forward fold. Heel toe your feet out to the edges of the mat. Find your squat stance. Inhale as you come all the way up, extended Tadasana, palms together at the top. Exhale as you come down into that garland pose. Chest is high, heels can be lifted, but try and put them on the floor if you can, and use those elbows against the inner thighs to just open up the hips. You can rock from side to side, do whatever you need to do, and then take left hand to the floor. Inhale to lift and twist to the right. Exhale, release, right hand to the floor. Inhale to lift and twist to the left. Exhale, release. Heel toe your feet back underneath your hips. Find your Uttanasana forward fold. Walk the hands all the way to the front of the mat, and we'll take another vinyasa. So option to use the knees, remember. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, press up to cobra. Exhale, press back to down facing dog. We're going to walk the hands all the way back 1 more time. Find your Uttanasana forward fold, and then find your squat stance as you heel toe the feet out to the edges. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, come down into that garland pose. Take a nice deep breath in, bounce it up and down a few times. And then plant the hands on the floor, heel toe the feet back underneath the hips, walk the hands to the front of the mat, find your plank position, one last vinyasa. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, press up to cobra. Exhale, push back to down facing dog. Walk the feet all the way in toward the hands, coming into your Uttanasana forward fold at the front of the mat. Inhale as you come all the way up, extended Tadasana. Exhale, release the hands, and you should be feeling a little bit more warm and supple. So we've got the first round is your mobilization round as always. I'm just going to turn this on for us, and I will demonstrate the first movement before I press go. So the first movement is a standing squat to knee tap. So last week we just came in with that 90-90 rotation in a seated position. This week you're going to find your squat stance. Inhale as you bring the hands all the way up. Exhale as you sink down into that standing squat. Hands can go out to the front, or you can take them to the floor if you need to. You're going to tap one knee to the floor, come back to center, tap the other knee to the floor, come back to center, lift all the way up, and then come back down and do the same. So you'll tap, tap, stand, squat, tap, tap. So you guys get it. I'll do it the first few reps with you. So I'm going to start the timer. So you've got 10 seconds. So set yourself up in that wide stance for your squats. Not too wide, of course, just slightly wide in the hip distance. And in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, come down into your squat. Tap the right knee, tap the left knee, and then come all the way back up. Exhale as you come back down. Tap, tap. Inhale to come up. Exhale to come back down. And just keep working through. You're doing really well.
Halfway there.
You're over halfway. You're doing so well. So this is really working on your hip mobility, adding a little bit of cardio with the ups and downs.
10 seconds.
Using the muscles, of course, to get into those squats. So try and keep that chest nice and lifted. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. We're going to come down onto our mats now and come into bow position. So option 1, you can just do locust lifts, lifting arms and legs off the floor. Option 2, taking one hand back to one foot. You can kick into that half bow and alternate. And of course, option 3, taking both hands back, inhaling to lift and kick, exhaling to lower.
Let's go.
Of course, if you want to make this harder, you can always find one of those positions and hold, or even add a rock to it. So whatever you want to do, just remember you're inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. So I'll run through the options again. You've got those locust lifts, you've got those half bows, alternating from side to side, and you've got those full bows as well. You are over halfway. See if you can do a couple more reps.
10 seconds.
And in 6, 5, 4, and rest. The next one is a lizard lunge to pounce. So you're going to set yourself up in your down facing dog, step your foot outside of your hand, and lift that hand off the floor as you come through. So you're stepping back, stepping forward. So you're placing your foot where your hand is, coming forwards and back, maybe just spending a moment or two getting into those hips. So set yourself up, find your down facing dog, left hand lifts as left foot comes through, step back, right hand lifts as right foot comes through. Just reset at the back. Feel free to take a moment there in that down facing dog to stretch out, mobilize. Take your time if you need to, or speed it up for a calorie burner. So you're over halfway. See if you can get a similar amount of reps again. You're doing so well. You've got 10 seconds left, so maybe 1 or 2 more each side, and then we're coming up to a standing position.
Rest.
So from here, we're going to find ourselves, feet are hip distance apart. We're going to lift the heels off the floor as we rise up onto the toes. With the arms, we're going to send the arms back. And if you want to, see if you can challenge your balance by coming forwards. And then exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. exhale to lower. So this is mobility for the feet. You're just lifting your heels off the floor and coming back. So you've got, oh, it's resting you for a whole minute. That's no good. So set yourselves up. We'll just do that one. And, geez, sorry. So I'll set the timer again. And then I'll restart it in a second. So set yourselves up. Sorry, I only clicked 3 rounds and not 5. So set yourselves up with that. Feet are hip distance apart. And you're going to inhale to lift up on the toes. Send the arms back. Challenge your balance as you lean forwards. And then exhale to lower and reset. So you're inhaling to lift. Finding that balance in your feet and your toes. This is really good for working the ankles, the underneaths of the feet, and working into those balance areas as well. So you're over halfway. You'll probably find your calves start to hurt. The challenge is to go as high as possible on the toes whilst you lean as far forwards as possible, sending the hips back. So it's finding that balancing point. Nice, beautiful.
Rest.
As you rest, we're going to come down to the floor for the last movement, and we're going to find ourselves in half frog. So we're going to do half the time reaching back one hand to one foot and just pulsing the heel down towards the floor and then holding, and then when it says half time, we'll switch over, grab the other foot, pulsing the heel down towards the floor and then holding. So set yourself up, reach back for same hand, same foot, and just open up that quad. This is going to be so good for your legs. You're doing this for half the time on one side, and then you can hold if you want to for the last few bits. If you feel that's where you need to be today, you can carry on pulsing if you want to. We're just coming up to halfway, so switch sides.
Halfway there.
Pulse again, and then hold for a little bit longer. So you've got a whole minute's rest after this.
10 seconds.
And then we'll move on to round 2 and relax.
Rest.
So you can ignore that for a moment. I'll reset it because my clock's gone haywire. You've got a whole minute's rest. So if you want to grab some water, you can. The next round is your strengthening round. So I'll demonstrate the next movement. We're going to come onto the mats and find ourselves in a supine position, and we're going to do single leg glute bridges. So of course, option 1 is just keeping both feet on the floor and doing a regular glute bridge, squeezing the glutes, sending the hips high, shuffling those shoulders underneath, and finding that kind of mini back bend. Just lifting and lowering. Option 2, keeping in that same position, lift one leg off the floor and send the hips high. We're going to do half the time with one leg, and then when it says halfway, switch sides, half the time with the other leg. If you want to make this harder, you can add a tempo, so you can shoot up fast and then lower down for 3, 2, 1, tap, and then shoot up fast, lower down for 3, 2, 1. I don't want you to fully relax at the bottom. I literally want you to brush the floor and tap straight back up. So we're just coming up to our minute worth of rest, and I will set the clock again. So when you're ready, set yourself up in that supine position. You have 10 seconds or 5 seconds on the clock, finding yourself in that glute bridge position, single or double. Lift one leg up and then try and keep that leg nice and straight if you can as you lift those hips as high as you can off the floor. Really good. Nice work. So you should really feel this, especially if you're doing a single leg in your glutes. You're halfway, so switch sides. Of course, alternating is always an option because keeping on one leg's quite tough. And you've got 10 seconds left on the clock. And then we are swiveling around onto our hands and knees. And in 3, 2, 1, relax.
Rest.
So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to come into bird dog. So we're going to take opposite hand and opposite leg straight forwards and straight back. Try not to lift up, try and reach forwards and back. You're then going to bring elbow to knee, reach out, and we're just going to do one side, and then when it comes to halfway, switch over and do the other side. With your hips, try and make sure they don't twist as you do this. So set yourself up, find opposite hand to opposite leg, and then elbow to knee, reach and kick, exhale as you crunch. And spend a bit of time, if you want, a count of 1 or 2 in that crunch. Really engage those muscles. Try and think about having a glass of water on your back, not spilling that water. You're halfway, so switch over if you haven't already, and do the other side. So again, just try not to arch as you do this. Try and reach forwards and back, crunch. So keep everything parallel to the floor. You've got 3 seconds left on the clock.
Rest.
The next one is half bow to full bow. So we've done a bit of this in the warm-up. This time we're just going to hold for a count of 3. So option to do your halves or your fulls, whatever you want to do. You're going to inhale to lift, hold for 3, 2, 1, and then exhale to lower. If you're doing the half one, you're going to inhale to lift, hold for 3,
Let's go.
2, 1, exhale to lower, switch legs, hold for 3, 2, 1. So set yourself up, find yourself in that bow position. If you're finding this is easy for you, you can always do that hold for the whole time. If you're in full bow or half bow, you can do half time, or you can add that rock to it, where you're just holding
Halfway there.
and rocking, sending the feet back into the hands. You're over halfway. You have just coming up to 10 seconds left on the clock. So keep going. We're working out your back core and we're about to work out your front core. So relax. The next option is a simple side plank. So option to keep one knee on the floor. Option to just come into your side plank, stack the feet, foot in front, foot behind, or even in that star position. You're going to hold for half the time on one side, and then when it says halfway, we're going to swivel around and hold on the other side. So option to scale it right back to elbows and knees if you need to. So set yourself up in that side plank position. Press the ground away. Think about engaging that side body, lifting up through your armpits off the floor, keeping those hips nice and high. Really good. If you're finding this easy, you can try that balance, or you can add a pulse to it as well.
Halfway there.
You're over halfway, so we're going to switch sides, swivel over, reset, and lift to the other side. So again, you can bring that pulse in.
10 seconds.
If you want to add a pulse or a hip tap to the floor, you can. You have 3, 2, 1, and then we've got our last movement. So standing up, we're going to set ourselves up. Warrior 1, sink into that lunge, and we're going to inhale to lift, exhale to sink into warrior 2. So you're literally going to sink from one, lift and twist, from one to the other, twisting the hips out, twisting the hips forwards with the arms. At half time, we'll switch sides and reset. So set yourself up in that warrior 1 position. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Exhale, sink into that lunge. Press through the feet, engage the thighs, squeeze the glutes. Inhale to lift and twist. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale to lift and twist. Exhale, warrior 1. As you're doing this, as well as working the legs, focus on the shoulders. So squeeze that midsection of your spine to help stabilize the arms.
Halfway
Think
there.
about engaging those back muscles as you work through. We're over halfway, so we're switching sides. Setting yourself up in warrior 1 on the other side. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to twist. You have a whole minute's worth of rest after this one. So keep moving all the way to the end and relax. Nice work, girls. So we're on to the cardio round. So grab a bit of water, and then when you're ready, I will demonstrate the first movement. So the first movement of this round is a squat to chair. So you're going to come from your garland pose, and then you're going to jump, catch in chair, come back to squat, catch in chair. If you want to make this slightly easier, you can always go back to that goddess squat so you're not going quite as deep. Jump, catch in chair, you can do those ones, or you can come all the way down and then jump, catch in chair, step in, step out, the usual. You have 10 seconds, coming up on the clock, so set yourself up in that wide foot stance, and when you're ready, we've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So come down into that squat, jump, catch in chair, down into the squat, jump, catch in chair. So you can keep the hands above the head, or you can lower them as you come into that squat if you want to. You're just moving from one to the other, either jumping or stepping in, stepping out. You're over halfway, so see if you can work all the way to the end. You then have 25 seconds rest while I demonstrate the next one. So keep going. Really good. The deeper you catch that squat and chair, the harder this is going to be. You have 5 seconds left on the clock. And relax. The next one is a down facing dog crisscross crunch. So finding yourself in down facing dog, you're going to bring opposite knee to opposite elbow, tap, step back, opposite knee to opposite elbow, tap, step back. So we're just alternating from side to side. Obviously, the quicker you do this and the higher you bring that knee up, the harder and more you're going to burn. So work, find yourself in that down facing dog. Nice work. If you need to take a breather, take it at the back of that down facing dog. Stretch out the arms and then come forwards, reset and start again. Nice work. You're doing so well. Really good job, girls.
Halfway
You're
down.
over halfway, so keep pedaling all the way to the end. You're doing so well. Really good job.
10 seconds.
You have just over 5 seconds left on the clock, and then we're into the third movement of this round. So coming to the front of your mats now, we're going to come into those alternating lunges. So you're going to step back, tap the knee, step forwards, switch legs, tap the other knee. If you want to add the arms in, you can cactus the arms out to the side, or you can even step it up with a jumping lunge if you want to alternate from side to side. So pick your skill level and then go with it. And of course, the faster you go, the more you're going to work. The slower you go, just take it easy if you need to. So working, alternating from side to side. Nice work. Really good. The trick with this one is more stability focused. So if you need to go slightly wider with your stance so that balance becomes a little bit easier, you can.
Halfway there.
You're over halfway, so keep going. You've got this. Of course, if you don't want to use the arms, just leave them by your side or on your waist, wherever you need them. You have 10 seconds left on the clock. And then we have another movement. Nice work, and rest. The next one is a scorpion to side kick. So you're going to come into your down facing dog, take one leg up and back, bend at the knee, find that scorpion, and then you're going to come through and kick underneath as you lift that other hand. Step back and then alternate as you come through. So you're going to lift one leg, scorpion, twizzle, and kick through.
Let's go.
To the other side. So if you want to, you can miss out the scorpion and just go for that side kick if that's what you prefer. Sending the leg out to the side, a bit like that lizard pounce, but everything's going out sideways. If you want to add in that scorpion twist, you can get some hip mobility in there as well and some strength from that posture.
Halfway there.
Bending the knee, finding that twist, and then coming through and resetting back in that down facing dog. You have 12 seconds left on the clock
10
and
seconds.
one more movement left to go. So work all the way to the end of this one. And in 3, 2, 1, relax. The next movement we are going to do is from down facing dog, stepping through into lizard, but keeping the foot just behind. We're going to add a press, step back, and then alternate, adding a press in each time, sending those elbows out to the side. If you just want to take an alternating lizard lunge for today, that's absolutely fine, and remove the press. But just step that foot if you're doing the press just behind the hands so that you've got space to send the elbows out to the side, come through, and then step back. So just keep working all the way to the end. You've got this, girls. This is your last movement, so move all the way to the end. Keep going.
Halfway
You're
there.
over halfway, so see if you can match the same number of presses that you've just done, or steps, whatever you need to do today. And you have 10 seconds left on the clock. So keep going all the way to the end. Keep going, maybe one more each side. And in 3, 2, 1, relax. Come back to your extended child's poses. Grab a glass of water if you need to. And we'll just take a few moments to breathe. You did really well today. Some of those are quite complex movements, so well done, girls. Come back to the back of your mats and just find yourself in extended child's pose. Forehead to the floor. Take a few deep breaths all the way in. Feel that expansion in the upper back. Hands can now walk over all the way to the left. Find that stretch in the right side body. Take 2 more breaths all the way in. And then walk the hands all the way back to the front and then over to the right, and find that stretch in the left side body. Again, 2 more deep breaths all the way in. And then slowly walk the hands all the way to the front of the mat again. Find yourselves on your backs. Swivel yourself around. Come onto your backs, bring your knees in towards your chest and just rock from side to side. We'll take a hold of the left knee. As you exhale, send the right leg all the way to the floor. Inhale as you pull that left knee in towards the chest. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then inhale as you bring the right knee back up. Switching over the hands, exhale as you extend the left leg all the way to the floor. Inhale to pull the right knee in towards the chest. Take a nice deep breath all the way in. Exhale. And then inhale to bring both knees back to center. Take the toes to the floor, keep the heels lifted, arms out wide in a T-shaped position, palms facing down, and glue those shoulders to the floor. Just drop the knees from side to side for a couple of window wipers to finish, releasing off the spine, releasing off glutes and hips. We'll go for 1 more each side. And then just gently bring the knees all the way back in towards the chest. Hug them in tight. Inhale, nose to knees as you release off the back. Exhale, relax. And then slowly come all the way up to seated. Find yourself in the center of the mat. And we'll finish with one final deep inhale as we lift the hands up above the head, palms together at the top. And as we exhale, bring the hands to the forehead. Kind thoughts. To the lips, kind words. To the heart, kind feelings. Namaste.